Hi there, it's Claire here, and welcome to Insomnia, the gaming festival. This is a series called Insomnia Meets, where we chat to some lovely creators about their creative journey, about their communities, and what they love the best about Insomnia. And in this episode, I'm very happy to welcome the wonderful, it's Emzy. Hello there, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very, very well. First of all, for those who don't know who you are, please introduce yourself. What do you do? What can people expect when they come to visit you online?
Yes, hi. So I'm Emzy. I'm a just dancer for the most part, but I'm also a cosplayer and body painter. And I also have a little side love of horror games.
Okay, so that's quite a lot. Um,
Mm.
so, and I also had a quick look at your channel as well, and I've checked you out and I've looked at your VODs and things. Very kind of like 80s or 90s. It's really colourful.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in that era then?
No, I'm actually a lot younger, but my mum and my nana are both solid love the 80s, and my style actually really reflects some of like what my nana used to wear and stuff. So I think I got inspired by them.
Love it. And how did you get into streaming particularly? So, what was it that brought you to start to stream?
In a way, it was actually like a really down time that brought me to stream. So during COVID, I was considered an essential worker. I was going into work. I found it very mentally draining and then ended up off on sick due to just my mental health having declined in COVID. At the time, though, I'd been active on TikTok and uh, I'd spent more time on there and was doing little lives on there. And people were like, I mentioned gaming one day and people were like, well, why aren't you streaming? And I was like, what the heck is streaming? Thinking I'd never heard of this thing. So it was actually my TikTok community at the time who brought me to Twitch to start
Oh,
streaming because I didn't even know it existed. But I was had so much free time and was like just not sure what to do with myself. They were like, go over there.
oh, that's amazing. So, would you say, as a TikToker, that translated quite well over into
It
streaming?
absolutely it did at the time. So I was going live on TikTok to only about 20 or 30 people. But when I switched to Twitch, it meant that I got affiliate in like a week because I had 10 average viewers just off the bat from the ones who'd said, please stream games.
Yes. And do you quite enjoy then that kind of difference? Obviously, TikTok's a different beast, but coming on and being a gamer, what were the kind of first games that you got into?
Oh, I think my first ones were all horror games. I know that much. I know FNAF was an early one that I tried. Five Nights at Freddy's has always been close to my
Yeah.
heart, and it makes resurgences every now and again. So I was mostly horror actually when I first started. 7 Days to Die as well was a big one because I could
Nice.
get people involved when I first moved over because obviously we were all at home and people wanted to get involved.
So let's talk about friendships, but let's talk about the friendships that you made via gaming when you were a little bit younger before you started streaming. Would you say that you had made quite a lot of friends as a gamer as a kid? Would you say?
Not necessarily. I always gamed as a kid, but I never really knew other gamers because, like, we got a PC quite early on, I guess, in when PCs became more of a household thing. Like, I was really young, but my dad built our first one. So I was gaming and talking about games kind of before a lot of the people around me talked about games, especially because I lived in the middle of the countryside, so nobody really had a computer. Um, and then like in terms of like handheld consoles, we didn't really have any. Again, we were living in the countryside, living on a farm, so it wasn't really top priority. So definitely like younger, it didn't really translate as much as though it did when I got older. And some of the people that I talked to about games when I was younger are now gaming friends now I'm older.
Ah, and what about now? Like, so as you started to evolve and then decide to be a content creator, a streamer, have you made many friends doing what you do now?
So many friends, largely because the Just Dance community is just incredible. Every single one is friendly. They're all over the world. But Just Dance has like recently added things where we can play together online now. And it escalated so quickly because the Just Dance community is quite small, I suppose, on Twitch. But they're so close. So as soon as you start, everyone comes and like introduces themselves and you just like make automatic friends because you love dance and playing Just Dance as much as they do. And then obviously it kind of grows from there as well.
So before, starting your own communities online, what kind of communities were you part of? Obviously, you've mentioned Just Dance. So aside from that, what other communities were you part of and how did it feel to be part of communities?
It felt amazing. I think the very first community I got into actually was from TikTok and it was Disney. The Disney community had welcomed me in with open arms, largely because I was protesting that I couldn't go to Disney because COVID was a thing. So they were like my first community, and then it ended up being that a lot of them were gamers. And again, we started playing horror games together. So a lot of them, we all had a server together playing 7 Days to Die for a long time. And it just makes you feel a part of something. And it's so nice because sometimes I think, especially in the way the world is now, you can feel really disconnected from other people. But to join a community and then feel like you have things automatically in common with them that then can grow into larger friendships, especially now that we can meet in person, it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of.
So let's hook back to the Just Dance community. What kind of people would you say they are? Are they mad? Are they kind? Are they silly? What kind of people are they?
They're definitely incredibly kind. The Just Dance community is so kind. I never felt so welcome. Literally, I think I did 2 streams of Just Dance, and it was like being welcomed in with open arms already. So many people from the community already found me and were like, you need to meet this person and this person. Here you go. They're very sociable as well, like, which is, I think, a weird thing to say about a lot of gaming communities. I think like gaming is sociable, but these guys want to talk and dance all day, every day, and it's wonderful. But also, they are mad as a box of frogs. They have so much energy. Obviously, all the dancing, there's energy abundance. So they're a very creative bunch as well.
And tell me, if I wanted to get into the Just Dance community, and I am not a good dancer at all. I have been known to dance on stream randomly, but no, I'm not a very good dancer, and it's usually I need to have a few drinks as well. I mean, can anyone do it? Can anyone do it, Emzy?
Absolutely anyone can do it. I've actually been working on a few things to try and show people that anyone can do it. We now have seated dances. So if you're not a big one for moving the whole body, you can dip your toe in with a little seated number. There's so many different difficulty levels as well. Like I have some absolute loves for some of the really easy songs where it's just a bit more jazzy, you know, you just shake it about a bit and have a good little time. I think anyone can get involved. I think it's just always that fear, isn't it? I think of getting started and putting yourself out there like that is the hardest part. And I think that's why the Just Dance community like to put themselves out there first, and hopefully we can take your hand and drag you along.
I love that. I love that. And in terms of your own community now, because you are the leader of your own community, how does it feel to be responsible for others, and what kind of community do you have?
I have it's a very wholesome community, which I never really expected. I never feel like I'm the most wholesome person, but I think because we have a passion for things that are quite wholesome, like Just Dance is a very wholesome thing in reality. That they're a really kind bunch. And I think being a leader of a community, you always want that to be the case. Like I feel like my community is always willing to welcome everybody in, let everybody have a go. Like Just Dance lobbies only allow, say, 6 people in at one time. If I go, oh, does somebody mind dropping out because somebody else wants in? Someone always go, oh, yeah, I'm actually going to go have dinner. So let them in and we'll have them in too, even if it's somebody who's literally just come to the channel for the first time. And it's so nice that there's that kindness just automatically inbuilt into my community. And they're all just so active. And yeah, they hang out and do things even when I'm not around, which is even more cool.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's a nice feeling when you see community members just forging their own friendships.
Yeah, chatting together about games, like sending memes and stuff like that to each other. It's really sweet.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And tell me, in terms of, you know, a gamer in these modern times, what does being a gamer mean to you now? You know, what is it to be a gamer?
I think to be a gamer now just is so much more than I think it ever has been. I think it's weirdly more accepted. I mentioned to people at work actually more recently that I'm a gamer, partly because I was taking time off to go to events. And I was like, I'm going to have to say something now because it's getting a bit weird. And it wasn't weird. It wasn't like taboo like I feel like it has been. They were like, somebody was like, oh, what do you play? Oh, I play this. And we ended up talking about games for like 2 hours in my office just because people had never talked about it before, and it was really nice. I think being a gamer just means so much more, and I think a gamer encompasses so much more. Like I think there would have been a time in my life where I wouldn't have thought being just a Just Dancer would be being a gamer, but it absolutely is. Like every game makes you valid as a gamer, and I think that's a really cool thing. Like people from Stardew Valley to Call of Duty players, we're all gamers, all like together over this one little aspect where we sit down and spend some time doing something, and I think that's really cute.
I love that. And tell me, why do you think Insomnia Gaming Festival is an integral and important part of the gaming community?
I think it's so important. So obviously, I started playing Just Dance again while we were in lockdown. And the shock I got turning up to Insomnia at the Just Dance stage and seeing all these people wanting to play Just Dance and all doing the dances. I didn't know there was that many of us. I'm sat there literally, I put my friend like, hang on a minute, there's that many of us? Like, and people love it this much? Like, the crowd was starting to leak into the aisle. And this was like the very, very first thing that I'd been to with, like, I guess any proper Just Dance presence. And I was actually like, have I been under a rock? Like, Insomnia just opened my eyes to like a whole group of people who love the same thing as me that I'd never got the opportunity to realize before. And now, like, some of those people now come to my streams and I talk to them a lot. And we've talked about like cosplay meetups and all this stuff for next time. And it's like, oh my gosh, like this community exists, but Insomnia just allows this platform to bring it into the real world and into real life where it's not just through the game, it's face to face dancing on a stage next to each other. It's so cute.
Oh, I love that. I'm really, really looking forward to meeting everyone in September. Emzy, you've been fantastic. For those who are watching along, we've got all of the links so you can follow Emzy, so make sure you please do that. And if you see her on the show floor, make sure you go and say hello as well, and make sure you come say hi to me if you see me wandering around. Inevitably you will, or you'll hear my silly voice booming from a stage somewhere. You've been amazing. Thank you very much for watching Insomnia Gaming Festival. I've been Claire, this is Emzy, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.